Welcome to Smatter Effect. I'm Mark and I'm back to review a movie called Raising in Arizona, one of my favorites. This amazing comedy was directed by the Coen brothers and released in 1987. This is one of the funniest movies I've ever seen. It stars Nicolas Cage and Holly Hunter along with William Forsythe and John Goodman. The plot of this movie is so simple. You have two people that just want to start a family. One of the two is played by Nicolas Cage. He plays a character named H.I. McDonough, a repeated store robber who's been in and out of prisons, who meets Edwina, a police officer. And over the course of High going in and out of jail, they eventually start flirting and fall in love. They then get married and they move into a starter home in the middle of the desert. And High gets a job at the local machine shop. So now we have a decorated police officer married to a convicted felon, trying to convince themselves that they're happy, but they have like a hole in their relationship that they're trying to fill, and they're going to try to fill it by starting a family. After trying for a while to conceive, they're unsuccessful, and it turns out that Edwina is actually infertile. So they decided to go ahead and try adoption, but when they go down to the adoption agency, High's record works against them, and they are turned down. After leaving the adoption agency, Edwina is just devastated. She loses all hope, she loses all motivation, she stops cleaning up, she stops going to work, and their relationship really starts to suffer. But there is hope after all. Ed and High find out about the Arizona Quints, which are 5 babies born to Nathan, Arizona, and his wife. They're famous because they own a whole bunch of unpainted furniture stores in that area. And after finding about all this, Ed, who is not in her right mind, and High, who will do anything to keep Ed happy, decide together to kidnap one of the children for their own because they figure that the Arizonas can't handle all those kids by themselves. And that, my friends, is the first 10 minutes of Raising Arizona. And that is a wild story because it sounds so simple. Two people want to start a family, but they can't. So they decide to take someone else's baby because they have too many. And that is the basic plot of this movie. And with that horrible premise of stealing someone's baby, this movie somehow gets away with it being a comedy slash fantasy slash drama because people do things that you normally wouldn't expect them to do, horrible things, but they're still likable characters because in their minds they're always doing the right thing. And at this point in the story, we know that High loves Edwina very much and he doesn't want her to give up on life and he thinks this is what she needs to get going. And the same thing for Ed. Ed really thinks that she needs this to keep herself motivated and keep their relationship together. So Ed and High are successful in kidnapping Nathan Jr. from the Arizona household. On their way home, Edwina starts breaking down, wondering if she did the right thing, but at the same time, she's still very happy that they have a family now. And High is just so happy to see Ed filled with joy again after seeing her so depressed for so long. The whole thing was filmed beautifully. The cinematography was amazing. Barry Sonnenfeld deserves the nod there. Nicolas Cage pulled off the physical comedy as well as the exaggerated looks. Holly Hunter, though, has been the real star of this show. She's been showing us the ups and downs of Ed, showing us the emotional roller coaster she's been on, the feeling of hopelessness, the feeling of hope again when she believes everything now is falling into place. And now that Ed and High have their dream family, something has to come along to make it not so dreamy or even a nightmare. That's where John Goodman and William Forsythe come in. They play brothers Gail and Evel. They just escaped from prison. They used to be cellmates of High's, and they show up on Ed and High's doorstep on the same night that they bring Nathan Jr. home. And during all this time, we have this subplot involving a bounty hunter that's a bounty hunter only for babies, that sells babies on the black market. And he says he'll get the baby first, and he'll get $50,000 for his troubles. If not, he'll sell the baby on the black market. The baby bounty hunter doesn't add up to much in the story, but it does add a lot to the imagery of the movie, showing a setting of fantasy as well as comedy. So it does work. Once the brothers find out about Nathan Jr. being kidnapped and High just happens to have a new baby, they have this really funny fight inside their mobile home. It is hilarious and definitely one of the highlights of the movie. In the final third of the movie, we have the two brothers taking Nathan Jr. with them on a bank heist. And the movie culminates with a lot of screaming, a lot of yelling, a lot of explosions, bounty hunters, the two brothers. We have Ed and High, we have Nathan Jr., and in the end, everything kind of just works out. And these characters all get their just rewards. Now, at the end of the day, was this movie funny? Yes. This movie was great. This movie is hilarious. This movie, you should run out and see it if you haven't seen it already. Especially for the major chase scene in this movie, which is one of the most drop-dead funny things I've ever seen in my life. But you should see this in context of the movie, because otherwise, if I explain it to you, it won't make any sense. But you have to watch it just for that car chase scene alone. One of the top comedies of all time, and it really deserves that status. It has great physical jokes, great camera work, great setups, great acting. People do comedy and drama and go back and forth between the two. There's just so much to love about this movie, and everyone just goes all out in their roles. Nicolas Cage, Holly Hunter, Trey Wilson, Frances McDormand, Sam McMurray, even Randall Tex Cobb does a passable job as the bounty hunter, and of course John Goodman and William Forsythe are incredible as the two brothers. Everybody does what they're expected to do. Everybody does what they're supposed to do, and I'm glad they followed direction, because this movie was hilarious, and it works because of the direction. It works. The Coen brothers really hit it out of the ballpark. The dialogue's fantastic. The dialogue, when you talk about comedies, so many of the times you watch this movie and you go, what are they saying? Like, how do they come up with these phrases? And that's just great work by the Coen brothers, doing the writing and the directing. All around, one of my favorite movies of all time. You have to watch it. And if you have, watch it again. Anyway, thank you for watching another video by Smatter. Have a good day.